I was trying to think of like, getting myself in the headspace of okay, like embarrassing stories. What are some like common issues or common things that I kind of think of when I think of embarrassing stories? And the one thing I had a burning question in my head was whether or not you should share your embarrassing stories with others. Right? Because there's this notion of like, oh, it's so embarrassing. I don't want to tell people, but like, I'm of the mindset of, hey, the more you share your embarrassing stories, potentially people might pick up on certain themes that maybe you didn't pick up on yourself while you're going through it, maybe offer you some advice. And then the more you share it, the less embarrassing it kind of gets, you know?
Mm.
At least that's how I think of it. But I was really, really interested in seeing what your guys' opinion is. So effectively, should you share your embarrassing stories with others? Why or why not?
Well, I'm in the mindset of share your embarrassing stories to people you want to grow closer to. Because embarrassing stories make us feel more human and make us seem more human and fallible in other people's eyes, and that's like really relatable, you know? It's easy to relate to somebody if you feel like, oh, they have this embarrassing story. Obviously, they have some failures in life. So do I. Cool. We can relate on this. But obviously, it depends on the severity of embarrassment. I'm not going to tell all my stories all the time to everybody. Although I am a little more of an irregular person and I'm a very open book. So I think I would admit a lot of things. But there are a couple things that I just keep deep down and because there's no reason to tell them. I can relate with an embarrassing story. I just don't have to tell them all.
Yeah, I am of a similar mind. Like, it really does help forge that bond between you and someone else when you share embarrassing stories. Um, I don't know. I feel like they're great to show how you would handle a specific situation or relate to something that someone is going through. But similarly, I'm not going around telling everyone my embarrassing stories.
Yeah, and to be fair, I always hated the phrase, "Oh, my life's an open book," because it's like in practice, 99% of the people that doesn't necessarily apply. Their life is more like them shouting it out through a blowhorn and just telling people a bunch of stuff. It's like I I always the way I always kind of described it is, look, I'm not gonna go out and like just tell people things. I mean, sure, maybe for the podcast because that's the format. This is kind of an exception to the rule, so maybe disregard the statement entirely. I don't know. We'll see. But the way I always saw it, at least in my day-to-day relationships, is my life is kind of like a book on a shelf. It's there. If you want to open it up and read it, sure, I'll divulge whatever really you want to know. But I'm not going to just go out there and just shout it through a megaphone. You know?
Yeah.
That's
That makes sense. It's about being open to people, not being open towards people, you know?
open to people rather than open-mouthed to people.
Yeah. Except for me. I shout in everyone's face everything about me, so just, be ready for that. My blood type is O negative.
Thanks for watching Audible Advice. If you enjoyed the conversation, feel free to click the video on the right to check out the full podcast episode. Hope to see you there.